I'm J.D. Burnett. I'm the director of Choral Activities.
Well, JD, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. In just a few days, we have a big sing coming up.
Yeah.
And I guess this is a third year?
Yeah, this is our third annual Longhorn Big Sing.
Wow. And I
Yeah.
hear it's big. I've never been to one before.
Yeah, it's big and growing. We're excited to be able to do this every fall. It's probably our biggest single high school recruitment and outreach event here on campus. It's a great opportunity to get the students to come here on campus. And this year we're expecting about 375, maybe close to 400 high school students next Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And then what should these students expect when they're coming to the big sing?
Yeah, it's great. We want it to be a day that is kind of imagined around the idea of just singing together. The reason we put it early in the school year is so that programs can bring students that are young in their program or more mature in their program. It doesn't matter who those high school students are, or a mix of course, all of that. And they don't have to feel the pressure of performing by themselves. The schools don't have to put something forward this earlier in the school year in terms of performance. It's just truly a mass choir. So what they can expect is on Tuesday morning next week, we will gather and welcome them in Bates. They'll be greeted outside at the check-in tables by Hookem, who'll be there for a photo opportunity. Always a really popular part of the day.
That's why you're getting the 400.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Hookem.
They can come have their photos taken with Hookem. It's an exciting time to be a Longhorn fan. So
Absolutely.
And then we'll all, like I said, they'll be welcomed in Bates, and then we'll divide into rehearsals. And so the tenors and basses will go to the choir room and rehearse with me on a piece of music that's just for tenors and basses, while the sopranos and altos stay in Bates and rehearse with my colleague, Dr. Suzanne Pence, on a piece for treble choir. And then after we've rehearsed about an hour, there's a student recital where a dozen or so of the Butler School students, our voice students, sing for the high school students, and a couple faculty members are going to sing also. It's always a really important part of the day because we get to sort of show off the talent that's present here in the Butler School and represent freshmen through graduate students and music ed majors and performance majors and everything in between. And so it's really exciting to be able to show those off. And then we'll have another rehearsal like the first one. And then finally, we all come together in the hall and we learn a piece for everybody to sing together. So that's all probably 400 high school students plus another 150 college choir students. So it's a big crew in Bates by the end of the day. And then the Butler School choirs sing for the high school students at the end of the day.
Okay. Now, is that hard? Because you're the director of the choir,
Yep.
right? Is that hard this early in the semester to have something to present?
Yeah, it does feel a little fresh. I mean, we've only had a few rehearsals, but it's a good way to motivate us to give us an early goal and make some quick progress at the beginning of the year, because each of our choirs will sing 2-3 pieces for the high school students, and it'll be our first public performance of any of that for the school year.
Yeah, and is there a chance for high school students to kind of meet or mingle with either faculty or students?
Yeah, we hope that the day involves a little bit of that. We make sure to identify all of the college choir students by wearing our same choir polo, so the high school students know who the college students are. And I always encourage our students to find little ways to interact with the high school students, to make them feel super welcome, to find quick little conversations in the cracks between aspects of the day, whether it's during our break time or lunchtime, and we encourage them to stand in and among the high school choir students and sing and be vocal models for them as well.
Yeah, how does logistically that work? All those people sing, because they can't all be on the stage, right?
No, they can't. In our first year, we were able to get everybody on the stage. We had about 150 singers join us.
Wow, so it's grown from 150 to almost 400
in just a couple of years.
Wow,
and that's exciting for us. I mean, there's an electricity about the day when there are so many folks on our campus. Yeah. So in terms of practicality, What we will have happen when everybody's in the room is the tenors and basses will be on platform risers or standing risers on stage.
Okay.
The piano will be there in front. All the sopranos and altos will be in the auditorium seats. And so we'll kind of be like a choir in the round in that way, kind of singing toward one another. And the conductor will be in the middle rehearsing.
Are you going to be the conductor?
I will do the piece for the sort of all sing the SATB piece. I'm also going to conduct the tenors and basses, but Suzanne Pence, my colleague, is going to conduct the sopranos and altos.
Okay, that poor pianist who has to compete with 400 singers.
I know. I always wonder what the pianist is thinking on those days when, they're just one versus the sea of high school and college choir singers. Yeah.
Do you hear them at all, or is it?
You can hear them.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And if we're doing our job leading the music well, we can take 400 voices and make it into something that isn't just a kind of washy wall of sound.
Yeah. So talk me through the rep you're singing.
Yeah. So we pick 3 pieces each year. One is for sopranos and altos, one's for tenors and basses, and one's for a mixed choir of sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. We want to make the styles varied so that, we're not all singing the same style all day long. And we want to have diverse composers. So this year, the piece for tenors and basses called Sing Out My Soul by Marcus Garrett, who is a colleague of mine up at the University of North Texas and a prolific composer. It's a kind of spirited, kind of up-tempo piece for tenors and basses that I think they'll enjoy, get the energy going early in the day. The sopranos and altos will be singing a piece by Randall Stroop, who for a long time was the director of choral activities at Oklahoma State, my alma mater, actually. And that piece is called Two Strings, One Voice, a lyrical, kind of beautiful melody for treble voices in 4 parts. And then the piece Holding the Light is by B.E. Boykin. That's the SAT.
This is where everyone comes together.
Yeah, this is the one where we all sing it together. B.E. Boykin is a composer who lives in Atlanta that I have had the fortune to get to know because she serves also on the board of directors of the professional choir that I lead in Atlanta. And she's a wonderful composer and a great conductor, and her music's getting a lot of attention right now. So I think it's going to be a great year for rep. I think it'll be some of the people will know some of the rep already, but I suspect that this stuff's going to be new to most of the high school students.
Yeah, it'll probably be the first time they're ever singing with just like tenors and basses, right? Like I don't think I've ever heard a choir with just that.
Yeah, well, we're really lucky at this school, at the Butler School, that we have a tenor bass chorus that exists as an ensemble in the school. And so that can sort of form the nucleus for what will be the tenor bass chorus on the day of the Longhorn Big Sing. It's a really cool experience for high school tenors and basses to be able to come to an event like this, or to a region choir or to an all-state choir where they get to sing with other tenors and basses who are as talented and eager as they are. I remember that feeling really distinctly when I was in high school. I came from a very small high school, was probably the guy in high school who loved choral singing the most. And so it was hard for me to find other tenors and basses that loved this kind of music making the same way I did. And I never got to hear the sounds of 100 tenors and basses singing together. I just wasn't available. And so that's why experiences like Longhorn Big Sing can be so meaningful to high school students, is because it affords them the opportunity to experience things that they can't do on their home campuses.
Yeah, they'll probably even get to sing the melody for like the first time in their life.
Yeah, that's right. Especially if they're a second tenor, they'll get the melody a lot. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm sure part of this is kind of recruitment to kind of show off the program.
Yeah.
So what kind of message would you have? Because, like you went to different schools, we all went to, like, what do we really shine on here?
Well, I think the easiest way for me to answer that question is to tell you kind of why I wanted to come work here and why I moved here from the University of Georgia several years ago, was because I had taught high school in Texas. I have familiarity with the really amazing public school music making that happens in the state. It's the envy of the whole nation in terms of public school ensemble music making. And to be able to come to the University of Texas here in Austin and lead the choral program, to me felt like an opportunity to work at the flagship university. This is an amazing university. I'll talk about the music school in a second, but just the university is one of the great public universities in the world. It's situated here in this incredible city of Austin, where you've got the confluence of like kind of old Austin grungy college town that holds the flagship university of the state, to government, to tech sector, and to all of the other avenues that have kind of grown up alongside those important impulses for growth in the city. And then you talk about inside of the university, you've got the Butler School, this 650 student gem of a music training place. It's not hard to like make students want to come to school here. We've got world-class faculty. We've got fantastic ensembles. We've got performance opportunities that are, not available to just any university that's not in a major city. I think this is a particularly exciting time to come on board as a music major or as a singing non-music major in the choirs at UT, because it's a time of growth. It's a time of expansion. I'm still relatively new here. I'm super excited to grow this program. My colleague Suzanne Pence has been here for almost 30 years and has tons of experience and institutional knowledge about UT.
She's a true legend here.
She really is. Yeah,
absolutely.
Man, she's a monument within the university here, and I've learned a lot from her, but about our students and about this place. And she has indicated that she's going to retire at the end of this year, and so next year we'll have a new colleague here with new ideas. We've got new voice faculty. It's really an interesting time to be a music student and a singer at UT. And I feel like we're just at the beginning. And I feel like the reason I wanted to come here to kind of tie it up on the end is because I felt like the sky's the limit at the University of Texas at Austin. And the Butler School is a place where I can do the kind of work that I want to do and interact with fantastic students.
Yeah, and you mentioned at the start of that something interesting I'd never thought about: non-music majors. Mm-hmm. Is the choir open to non-music majors?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked me about that, because that's one of the biggest potential areas for growth for our program, is to involve non-music major singers in our program. We are deeply suspicious. In fact, we know that there are tons of very talented singers walking around our campus, some of whom were all-state singers, some of whom were accomplished singers in their high school program, and they're, for whatever reason, they're not singing in college. We want them to come find a home in the choirs here at UT. And that's one of the things I'm most excited about, seeing the program grow by including and in attracting non-music majors to our choirs.
Do you have a lot of non-music majors?
We do already have a lot of non-music majors in the choirs. I would say the concert chorale, which I conduct, is predominantly music majors, but we have a handful of non-music majors, and we actually have a handful of folks that are majoring in music and something else.
Okay.
And in the tenor bass chorus, and in the treble chorus, and in the tenor or treble chamber choir, and in the repertoire chorus, and in Longhorn singers, there are a lot of non-music majors. The thing that I've always loved about a big state university campus is that there are singers all over the place, and that we can provide here in the Butler School, for instance, an opportunity for it to be the great crossroads of the university. People coming from their math class to sing in choir, people like darting out a choir rehearsal to run across campus to get to their English class, or whatever it might be. We have engineers, we have scientists, we have people studying the humanities and business and all aspects of a major university curricular collection of points of view. And we can be host to all those people. And And I love that. I think that's a unique opportunity. I remember at the very beginning of my college career when I was not a music major, I was an engineering major. The hours in the day that I could go spend singing in a choir were the most important ones to me because they brought me the most balance and they kept me in touch with the sort of spirit side of what I love. And I think that's true for a lot of our singers here at UT who are singing in a choir but not majoring in music.
Yeah, even through your whole life. Like how many people, like I know a lot of people who are 40, 50, 60 years old who have very successful careers, but they live for that band they're in or the choir they're in or whatever it is. That's what keeps them going.
I love that. Yeah. I have about 10 thoughts collide in my brain when you mention that. One is just to kind of affirm the reality that more people in this country sing in choirs than do any other singular pastime. There's been research done on that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, more people sing in choir than bowl in bowling leagues. We have so many people, whether it's a church choir or a school choir or a community choir, there are so many, a barbershop quartet, there are just all these kinds of singing societies that are housed by different types of organizations that when you count all those singers up in the United States, there are more of them than do anything else. I think that's really a cool statistic because it proves the point which you just made, which is that people do this their whole lives long. It's truly a lifelong endeavor in a way that, some athletics can't be because our bodies wear out. We can sing for our whole lives, and the sort of intergenerational opportunities for sharing musical moments, I think, makes our society and our experience here on Earth like more rich.
Yeah, unfortunately, like in Europe, you look and there's like lots of community bands and community orchestras. Unfortunately, in this country, a lot of those have gone away. But yeah, the choirs really have kind of stuck around. My sister is a librarian, and she's sung her whole life. She's always sung in a choir in some form, right? Yeah. Like right now, she's in Bozeman in the like their symphony choir.
Symphony chorus.
Yeah, symphony chorus. Yeah. So I feel bad. You said we have the alto bass group.
Tenor bass group.
Tenor bass group here.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it. So why don't you just quickly kind of talk me through all the different groups we have here at Butler?
Yeah, happy to. Right now, the Butler School of Music curricularly offers 5 choirs. And they are the concert chorale, which is sort of our centerpiece mixed choir. That's the one I lead that is made up mostly of music majors, but of a handful of talented non-music majors. In the treble chorus, which is about 50, usually between 50 and 60 singers, first year music majors sing in there, and then the rest of that chorus is made up of non-music majors. The same is true of the tenor bass chorus. The treble chorus and tenor bass chorus rehearse at the same time, and then sometimes they combine and do works together as a mixed chorus. You can have the best of both worlds in that way. Again, the tenor bass chorus is first year voice majors and talented non-music majors. We have a treble chamber choir, which is led by my colleague, Dr. Pence, and it's a small group that specializes in music for treble choirs, really wide repertoire from the chant of Hildegard von Bingen all the way through jazz standards and pop styles that would sound familiar to contemporary ears. We also have a brand new choir that started, had our first rehearsal last night, actually, called the Repertoire Chorus. That's a choir presently of about 25, 30 singers that is predominantly serves to provide opportunity to our graduate students in choral conducting. It's a laboratory experience where they can hone their craft of rehearsal and conducting performance, where they get live interaction with faculty, really popular with our music ed students who are looking to have careers like that themselves. And then my fingers are crossed, and I don't mind saying out loud that we're in talks with the Longhorn singers to bring them back under the umbrella of the Butler School, where they began many, many, many years ago, 67 years ago. They've spent about a decade as a student organization on their own and done beautifully. And the work that they've done is so admirable to me that I'd really love to have them back in the Butler School. So we're negotiating is not the right word, but we're in conversations with them about how that might look to have them back as a curricular ensemble in the Butler School.
Wow, that's amazing. So a lot of high school students will be watching this,
Mhm.
right? And maybe they just love singing, right?
Mhm.
And they want to go into it as a career. What advice would you have for like a high school students?
Man, I would say first, I would say kind of embrace and own that love for the music that you're singing. You know, I feel like singing is one of the most primal things. So we're kind of hurled into the world screaming, you know.
Yeah,
Sometimes we go out that way too, you know. And it is in some ways the most kind of human impulse to make sound with our voices. We've managed to organize that over the centuries into fancy ways to, share pitch, But I would say love it and own it and seek affirmatively opportunities to continue to do it. Your comment before about how many people have been able to do this their whole lives has been the direct consequence of their decision to continue doing it. They've sought opportunity to continue doing it because they know the happiness that it brings them, the community that it affords them. So look for it, find it. Those can be your people. They really can. I would say, if you want to get better as a singer, take piano lessons. Helps your ear, helps your understanding of harmony and scale. Um, uh,
even over voice lessons.
yeah, take both. I mean, take
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
lessons too. I feel like in some ways for the avocational singer, the choir in many ways can be the best voice teacher. But yeah, man, take voice lessons. I would say, you can be a leader in a choir if you read music well, and so the piano lessons help that. But practice your sight reading. Put a little example of mini melodies on the seat next to you in the car, and when you're killing a minute or so in the cracks of life, like sing a melody, try to make it happen, make yourself better. And then just find a place to sing at the next place. If it's high school, find a place in the community or in your church or at college or wherever it might be to continue to sing.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And so what advice would you have for students coming to the Big Sing Day to make their day successful?
Yeah.
What have you seen in the past 2 years? I know it's only been 2 years, where students coming, they really did it right.
Yeah, I think when students are able to arrive at campus next Tuesday, having seen and prepared a little bit of the music, it doesn't have to be just perfect. We have some time together to make refinements, but when they've seen it and they're coming to it with some familiarity, I think they reap more benefit from the day. I think take the opportunity to listen on a day like that. Listen to the voices around you. Listen to the collective wisdom of the organism, which is 400 plus singers. Open your hearts and your minds to the folks that are leading you. That'd be me and my colleague, Dr. Pence. Don't be bashful. Go up and speak to some college students. Ask questions. I promise you, those college kids love to be asked questions about their own experience at UT, and they'd be happy to share it. So, just come with an open mind, an open heart, open ears, and enjoy a day of making music together.
Yeah, it sounds so amazing. I just can't wait to see it. So are there any YouTube videos of those three pieces
There
that
may
you would
be
recommend
some. Oh, of the three pieces, there
that I
there
could
are.
link in the
Yeah, sure. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but we might be able to find a couple and link to them from the
Okay.
podcast. Yeah.
Well, if we find them, I'll link them below, and
Yeah,
if
yeah.
not, I'll edit this
That'd be
part out.
great. Okay. That sounds good. Great.
Perfect. So anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm proud to be at the University of Texas. I'm proud to teach on the faculty in this wonderful school of music at the Butler School, and just want to share it with a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to hosting all of our guests next Tuesday for Longhorn Big Sing.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. So thanks a lot for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me.